everybody. I just wanted to jump on and talk quickly about perspective. I just got a microphone upgrade, so I'm testing it out. So this one might be a quick video, and I'll probably have to go in depth a little bit more in another video. But quickly, perspective is going to be based off of your experience, your beliefs, and how you relate to an experience or person or situation. That's how I gain perspective, is through experiencing things. But also, when you are looking at things, everything comes down to two choices or two perspectives, love or fear. Everything's going to be based off of those two things. So it's going to be based off of your heart or your solar plexus, your ego. And when those two aren't aligned, it's going to look like a battlefield. So you have to work on aligning your head and your heart connection so that when you are making choices, they're both going to be based off of the same thing. So when it comes to shifting your perspective and viewing things from a more loving standpoint, you're going to have to experience both ends of the spectrum in order to come to an observant, objective state of viewing everything as just what it is, and its truth in what it is. Everything just is. It is always perfect. It is always in balance. It is our idea and our perspective of imbalance and imperfection that places judgment on things to create the perspective of being out of balance or imperfect. Just because something doesn't feel perfect or feel great doesn't mean it isn't happening absolutely in the most perfect way. People get too caught up outside themselves and too caught up in the situation and what's being presented to them in the moment in order to overlook that and come to a neutral standpoint, understanding that what is happening to them is not happening to them but for them. It's happening for their highest and best good so that they can see both sides and gain a perspective from both sides. I have been on the giving end and the receiving end of pain, especially in relationships. That is something that I have always struggled with because of a lot of trauma responses that I took on as a child. I ended up having to take on a lot of responsibility at a very young age that I probably should have never had to. I am extremely grateful for my childhood and the way that it shaped and molded me. It gave me so many perspectives, so much compassion for myself and other people. It took me out of a space of being very materialistic and viewing things from a very loving standpoint because I had to. I am a person who understands that everything that's happening outside of me is a sole reflection of what's happening internally. I am able to witness and view aspects of me in every single person that I meet and in every single situation that I encounter. I immediately see the lesson. I understand what's happening for me. I don't really get triggered anymore. I'm able to be very objective and just kind of see everything happening, understand what it is, what it's doing for me, its role in my life, and my role to it. And this is how we're able to break patterns. This is how we're able to move forward and create our own reality. When I was younger, me and my mom had received some news that devastated our family. It broke us up. Her and I ended up moving out, and I was in high school, a very crucial time where I needed people in my life. And I felt very, very alone. I was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, taking on being a parent to my parent. I love my mom more than anything in the entire world, and I know she's going to be watching this, and I know it might trigger her, but at the end of the day, this is my experience, and the way that I experienced it, it is a real thing. It really happened, and for me, this is what it was. My mom struggled with addiction her whole life. There were years where she was sober, and it was pretty great for a while. When we received this news, I knew right away basically exactly how my life was going to unfold. I knew that she wouldn't really be able to handle it in the best way, but it was the best way. I needed to see and experience all of this in order to get me rolling on what I was here to do. So I have a very different perspective about addiction. I don't believe addiction is a disease, and I know that might end up triggering people, but I think putting that label on it tends to give us means to make an excuse for our behavior. Oh, I did this because I have a disease. No, you did it because you have something clearly that you need to heal that you are unable to deal with or look at because it's probably too painful or you don't know how. Nobody ever showed you. Whatever. So I understand addiction to be somebody who is just numbing pain that they have to feel in order to heal themselves, but are incapable of doing so for whatever reason. So I'm able to really not judge people in addiction because I was taking care of somebody who I know that wasn't them. I know that wasn't her. I know she loved me. I know she was just doing what she could with the programs that she had. I knew that. I saw both parts of her and I loved them both equally. It was a very turbulent kind of relationship because that can almost feel like I don't know how to be treated because this person tells me they love me, but they're choosing something else over me. That can be a really hard feeling to deal with, especially when you're a child. And then to have to undo that when you're older, you can understand, hopefully, where that would make relating relationships really, really hard. My mechanism was people pleasing. I always felt responsible for that person's perspective and view of me. So I was never really able to be my full self. And that was in order to not rock the boat and to make sure that my mom was okay. I understood and felt and took on the responsibility that if I don't do this, if I don't take care of this, nobody else will. I was in high school taking AP courses. I was in cosmetology school getting my cosmetology license while I was dealing with and going home to this, and it was painful. I'm emotionally highly sensitive. I'm highly empathetic. I'm able to put myself in everybody else's shoes and understand, which is a catch-22. It makes it really hard for me then to take care of myself because I love taking care of other people and I always understand why they're going through something. I have so much compassion for people, but that was really hard to turn around on me. I was always really critical of myself, and that part of me was cranked all the way up. And that was in order to make sure that I was going to be alive, taken care of, that my mom would stay alive. And I've had to work through all these trauma responses. I've had to almost learn how to be a little more selfish so that I wasn't getting taken advantage of or walked all over. That was a really hard thing to learn. So I've experienced a lot of pain really quickly in my childhood, and I understand that that's all setting me up for something so magical. You have to, when you're looking at perspectives and looking at something from a more loving and more heart-space center, that everything is happening for you. You have to be bigger than your situation. You have to overcome something, not become something. I understand all the aspects outside of me there. I can relate to everyone because I see every part of me in that person. So it also makes it really hard to argue with people because I understand why they're doing it, because I understand why I do things. Because I understand me, I understand you. What's happening inside of me is also happening outside of me. I recognize and understand that. I have a lot of clients who ask me, do you actually think that way? I absolutely think this way. Not because I read books or watch videos, but because I live it every single day. This is a practice. I am not saying that it is easy, but that's why I'm on here telling you guys stories and getting more vulnerable as it goes, because when I was starting this, I didn't have people that I was finding on YouTube that were giving from experience and telling me their stories so that I could relate to them and not feel alone. I've always been a really quiet kid. I've always been really observant. I've always just been very internal and to myself, very private. People who are really close to me know the depths of me, but that's why I wanted to create this. Ego would say this is for fame, fortune, the views, the subscribers, whatever the case is. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing this to share with you guys so that hopefully somebody can relate, but also because on a self level, on a selfish level, this helps me connect to myself on a very physical level. I'm able to see myself outside of myself. I'm able to view me as maybe other people would view me. I'm able to look at myself and listen to myself and connect in a very physical way with myself. I get to be creative. I get to open up my throat chakra to you guys and live with some integrity and speak my truth, which is something that I never really felt safe enough to do. So this is almost like a safety for me, but I absolutely love it. And the rest is starting to follow. I understand that when I'm doing something from a loving intention and with a loving perspective, that it has no choice but to come back to me, because that's what I'm putting out there. I understand that ego says, I posted this yesterday, that once I have this, once I have that, I'll have peace. No, you have to understand that once you find peace inside of you, the rest absolutely follows. I understand that when I'm doing this with a loving intention, everything else follows. I've had so many people reach out to me over the last couple days, and it has been so eye-opening to me and so beautiful. I'm so elated from the feedback recently over the last 3 days. It's been incredible. So I want to thank you guys for that. But I just want to sign off here and help you guys understand that you need to be able to relate to yourself in order to relate to other people. You have to look really deep inside of yourself, send love, see your shadows, understand both sides of you. You cannot be of the light if you were not of the dark. We are beings of both. You have to love both. You cannot be everybody else's perspective and idea of what perfect is for you. You have to find your own perfect and understand that you are perfect. And not let other people get in there. Not let them get in your brain. You gotta be sure and take on your own perspective, your own beliefs, your own experience, and be really, really solid and really, really sure that no matter who is or isn't in your life, and whether it means losing someone or not, that you are always living with authenticity. That will be always living from a heart space point of view, and that is how you view things from a loving perspective. When I love me, I love you. As within, so without. You are a mirror of me. I understand that I see myself in you, therefore I love you. I don't always have to interact, because there are going to be old parts of you and your shadows still out there mirroring and reminding you that there is another part to this. So you have to be really strong, and you have to use discernment and understand yourself to understand others and your situation. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to send unconditional love through every cell in your body. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a great weekend. I'll pop back on to continue this in a longer video, I think, and talk in rabbit holes. So I thank you guys so much for bearing with me, and I appreciate all the love that has come through from these. As always, I'll link everything below. If you want to reach out, if you want to leave a comment down below, I'm so grateful. As always, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.